Well, now it's time for us to recap the AFC and the NFC Championship. Let's bring in Warren Sharp. It's time now for the Sharp Report. I always love these recaps with Warren on Monday. We're running out of time for these, though, Warren. We're going to have one more recap Monday coming up after the big game in 2 weeks from now. But Warren, once again, thanks for coming on, and enjoyable weekend. I was able to watch, thankfully, my family gave me the opportunity. I watched every single play of both games. Just got up during halftime. I was able to watch every play. That's how I wanted to spend my Sunday. I was able to accomplish it.
There you go. That's a win, right? That's a win right there. No, it's going to be a long off season. Obviously, I love digging into the research and coming up with predictions for the upcoming season. But seeing the fact that we have 2 weeks until the big game left to go is definitely a sobering effect here on a Monday morning. Yeah. But a lot to talk about here from these last two games. A lot to question as well.
All right, so let's start off with the AFC Championship. The most ridiculous narrative, I got to be honest, is people who last night and this morning are saying, oh, I'm never fading Mahomes again. Like, okay, that's fair. But come on. I mean, did anybody who watched that game thought that that was the reason why the Chiefs won the game and the Ravens lost the game? Like, I mean, my takeaway was they had a great first half. And then the Ravens just like imploded on themselves in the second half with play calling and drop passes and fumbles and everything else. That's not to say that the Ravens would have won, but Warren, I mean, come on. If the score was 20-20 and they go to overtime and Mahomes throws some bomb for a touchdown, okay, then let's do that here on this day on Monday. But I did not feel this to be the case. Takes nothing away from Mahomes, by the way, or Kelsey or anyone else. But the game absolutely should have been much closer, and the Ravens should have given themselves a better opportunity to win, I thought.
Well, I agree with that sentiment, especially at the end there. Look, the Chiefs came out and they were doing whatever they wanted to do. Mahomes was like 11 of 11 on his first 11 passes, moved up and down the field on this great vaunted Ravens defense. Don't forget this game was being played in the rain. And the key for me defensively for the Ravens is you're Mike McDonald, you're going up against Patrick Mahomes. You need to give your own team a chance here to keep this game tight. And it's not as if Patrick Mahomes is beating you with Marquez Valdes-Scantling, or they're beating you with like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They're beating you with Travis Kelce, and they're beating you with Rashee Rice. I mean, every single thing that they're throwing to Kelce and Rice is working. And these are the two top weapons. You can't take either of them away. That's going to be a big-time problem. And so the Ravens defense made some adjustments at halftime, looked a lot better in the second half, gave their offense a little bit more of a chance to get back in the game by slowing down that Kansas City offense. But there was also a point where it's like, hey, if I'm Andy Reid, the Ravens are beating themselves, so I don't even need to really go and expose myself too much here offensively. Let's just make sure we don't turn the ball over. Let's play the field position game and allow them to throw up on themselves. So I think at some point the Chiefs did take their foot off the gas, the Ravens made some great adjustments there in the second half, but did not understand the defense in the first half. The biggest issue, though, to me of this entire game is the game is being played in the rain. The Ravens are one of the most run-heavy teams. The Ravens are going up against the 28th ranked run defense in the NFL, and the Kansas City Chiefs, who, by the way, ranked number 4 on offense, defensively defending the pass. They ran the ball with a running back on first down, the very first play of the game with Justice Hill. And from that moment onward, the entire game, Craig, 2 running back runs on first or second down, 2 running back runs on early downs. All they were doing was dropping Lamar Jackson back to pass the football in the rain, in a close game. I mean, there was no point in time in the entire first half that the Baltimore Ravens were down by more than a score. And the Chiefs, the entire game, only scored 17 points. We just saw the San Francisco 49ers come back from 17 points down at halftime. So this is not something impossible that could not possibly be done here. For whatever reason, Todd Monken thought that they should come up with a game plan that would be pass first with Lamar in the rain against a Steve Spagnuolo coach defense, which is elite against the pass. Made absolutely no sense to me. And this is where we talk about coaching winning games. You know, Andy Reid can win games by his coaching. And I thought that the Baltimore Ravens lost this game with their coaching and their game planning and their lack of adjustments on offense throughout the course of the game. That falls on the OC, that falls on the head coach. Now, let's not say that Lamar Jackson was great. He obviously did not play great in this game, and he contributed to it as well. But when it comes down to it, coaching matters a ton in the NFL. It matters a lot more than people give credit for it, both positive coaching and negative coaching, both good game planning and bad game planning. The thing is, the average fan watching on the couch doesn't necessarily know what the game plan is here. The average person is just seeing the athletes out there either execute or not execute, but they're being put in these positions by their coaches. And I thought this was one of the worst game plans and most unthinkable game plans that I could ever remember in a key moment, just coming out using your weakness against the strength of an opponent's defense when that defense has a clear weakness which aligns with your offensive strength. 0 sense to me.
Look, a lot of this stuff was perplexing, although, Zay Flowers doesn't fumble on the one. Maybe it's not even a conversation that we're having today. And what I want somebody to do, it could be you, Warren, it could be, Baldinger or somebody else. I want to move on from this game and get to the next one, but I got to tell you, watching the game, I don't know, and maybe I'll be wrong and somebody will break down the film. I thought Lamar Jackson could have run 4 or 5 more times and gotten a ton of yards and gotten for. I was like, does he not want to get hurt? It's the That's another coaching point, Craig. I mean, look, Willie Gay is out. He's the spy for the Kansas City Chiefs. What is Lamar Jackson being coached to do here, especially on all these dropbacks? There were running lanes galore there on the football field to be had, to be taken. And I do not understand for the life of me why he wasn't taking them himself, but when he wasn't taking them, the coaching staff, whether in his headset, on the sidelines, between series, at halftime, at the end of a quarter, somebody needs to be telling him, take these run lanes, use your legs. They're shutting down our passing attack. It made no sense to me. Completely agree with you. Watching, even my son was like, I thought Lamar Jackson runs a lot more. Me too. I don't know. I'm watching the same thing as you. Okay, the poor Detroit Lions, Warren. My gosh, they were on the verge of the big game in Las Vegas. They come up short to the 49ers, 34-31. Look, everyone is talking about the same thing today. They're talking about Dan Campbell not going for it, twice. The second time in particular would have tied the game. They blow a 17-point halftime lead and lose by 3 or more points. That's like a unicorn type result in the NFL through the years. They did cover, so if you did take them plus the points, you're not distraught. But I feel so bad for the Lions fans. I thought that they were going to win. I did. There was a point in the game where I'm like, wow, they're going to win this game.
Yeah, it was tough. Obviously, a lot of things happened. That fumble there by Gibbs happened, and I think that was the real straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, that allowed the 49ers to actually pull this thing out. If they don't have that turnover, the game probably does not end up going in their favor. But, you said if the Ravens has maybe scored a touchdown with Zay, we wouldn't even be talking about it. I certainly would be, because I certainly am sitting here still talking about Kyle Shanahan in that first half. I didn't understand his philosophy either. You're going up against a top run defense of the Detroit Lions. Christian McCaffrey's averaging 2.9 yards per carry, and they're not getting Brock Purdy into a rhythm and throwing the ball down the field early enough in that game to attack the weaknesses of that Lions defense, which is through the air and in their secondary. I didn't understand the philosophy there by Kyle Shanahan, but certainly one storyline is, of course, the Lions and the great season they had, the great run that they had. Certainly happy for all those fans that were able to experience this and go all the way to the NFC Championship game. Certainly they would love to be in the Super Bowl, but this certainly was a great feeling for them just to get to this point.
Yeah, they definitely deserve it, and I'm so happy for them too. All these years, and the Barry Sanders, the documentary was great recently on him too. So, okay, so on BetMGM, the big game is 49ers -1 right now. This opened up 2.5 in some shops, down to 2, 1.5. MGM is 1. Total down, I think, from 48 to 47.5 since it opened a little bit over 24 hours ago, or less than 24 hours ago, I should say. Any early position for you, Warren, or we're just going to hit the props here on this game?
Well, not to say that I won't have something on the game itself. It's still early in the process, though. I will say I haven't hit anything yet on the big game, but that might be coming down the pike here shortly. And they're lining props already. Lots of props out there right now, so you got to act fast and furious here if you want to start betting on this on the big game, which certainly we will be looking to do and sharing some more with you guys on Friday.
upon a time, these used to open up at the Westgate on a Sunday night. Now you can do whatever you want. It's all open for everybody. All right, Warren, we'll check in later in the week. Thanks again for coming on.